Hi, this is the help video for Access Chapter 5. We're looking at the PrepareCase, which is about the golf tournament. And this chapter is all about learning more about how to work with the table. So really stretch our knowledge of what the table setup and the properties for the fields and table properties, what they can do for us. So I have the instructions on the left, and on the right I have the file downloaded from MyLab IT. So the first thing that we're going to do is create an input mask, and it's on table member, and the phone number field. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up table member in design view so I can look at the fields. So I want to find the phone number, and we want to set the input mask. And remember, the input mask is all about how the field appears when someone is entering or editing the data. It really doesn't have anything to do with the underlying data type or anything like that. It's just ways to help entry of data be more consistent and easier for the user. So we're going to select the phone field. We're going to come down here into the field properties and find the property for input mask. I'm going to click in that box, move over to the right, and the little box with the 3 dots, those are ellipses. You're going to click on that. You're going to find the phone number input wizard. The placeholder you're going to use is an underline, and we want to save it with the symbols, stored with symbols. So we're going to go ahead and do next and finish. There is our input mask. We're going to save it, switch over to datasheet view, and I'm going to use the new record to get to the new record, and I'm going to add this and test that input mask that I just created. So I'm just going through and putting in the record, and really we're not going to see anything until we get to the phone number field. So here, once I start typing the 5, watch this field, and you see the input mask appears. I've got my parentheses, the space, the hyphens. It really does help me go through the field and enter it correctly. Look at how all of the phone numbers are consistently formatted. That's one of the things that an input mask does, is it helps you make the data coming into the table good and consistent. I'm still on this record. It's got the pencil, so I know it hasn't been saved to the file yet. If I just tab around off of it, the pencil's gone, so I know that this record 26 has been added to the table. So I can go ahead and close out a table member, and then I'm going to do the same type of thing on table employee. We're going to do a short date input mask for hire date. So let's go ahead and open up table employee in design view. We're going to find the field, which is hire date. We're going to move down to the field properties, and we're going to click on the input mask, click on the ellipses, and let's see, short date. Short date, next, next, finish, done. Save it because we're in design. Flip over to datasheet. Come down here, we're going to click on the new record, and we're going to type in the Lily Bain record. Watch here, when I started typing the hire date, look, it popped up and gave me the format that I needed. Notice when I hit tab, it changed it from the input mask to how that field is formatted. And so that's one of the things you want to kind of make sure you have your mind wrapped around. Input mask is just for the entry. Formatting of the field is how it is actually formatted beyond the entry. So like if it would appear on a form or a report. I moved off of the record to save it. I can close out of table employee. And then the next thing I'm going to work with is an input mask that does not exist as a wizard. So there's times where you want to set an input mask that isn't like one of the standards, Social Security or a phone, and so you have to know a little bit about how input masks are derived. So I pulled up the ebook just to show you this is what we're going to be doing, but there's a table in here that identifies the different masks that you can use, the little characters right here. So this is a nice page to bookmark. It has all of the characters that are used to create custom input mask. So if we look at this letter L for the mask, that's saying that there has to be a letter and that data entry is required. A question mark would be a letter, but it's not required, right? An A would be a letter or a number that's required. So you have to find what it is that you want. So up here, 0, it has to be a number, 0 to 9, and it's required. A 9 is a placeholder for a digit or a space, but it's not required, right? So you can use all of this. So we're going to use the combination of this greater than sign, which would take whatever follows, whatever letters, and make it uppercase. We're going to use that in combination with the L to do 2 places that have to be uppercase for the state, right? So if you look down here, right, this greater than LL is saying that the state field must be uppercase. And then you define what the placeholder is and whatever. So here, let's see how we can actually do that. So I have the table member open, right? Because that's what we're working on. So we want to make the state field so that it's required. So that's what you got to know. Is it required or optional? In this case, it's required. So I know I'm going to use the capital L. And it has to be capital letters. So that's going to be that greater than sign. So I'm going to come here to state, and I'm going to go down to the input mask, and I'm going to use the ellipses. But there's no state here. I actually have one, but we're going to edit the list, and you're going to type in state greater than LL. So that's saying uppercase, letter, both required. So when somebody's entering the state field, it's going to make it uppercase, and it has to be 2 letters. The placeholder is an underscore. A sample data is NM, and it's unbound. It's a text unbound type. So we're going to close that after you type all that in. We're going to pick it, next, and I'm just going to go ahead and do next and finish because there's really no symbols. So here is your input mask. We're going to save it. We're going to flip, put in a new, so Skylar, Hunter, 372, Bigelow Boulevard, Santa Fe, and then I'm going to do M. I'm typing lowercase, but you see what happened? It changed it to uppercase. That's because of my mask. Move off of the field, and we're good. So we're done with step 4. We're going to close this, and I am going to stop this movie at this point. We'll pick up the next movie at step number 5. Thank you.